thing I learned at Leonard was that I can control the time of the match, right? So now we finished that, we're gonna work on a couple finishes here.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 472 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined by two of the best in the business, Ben Askren, coming at us from the quarantine tomb in the basement somewhere. Maybe it's a basement, maybe not. It's a lot more I'm isolated if we just call it a basement, Ben, like a bunker.
It is a basement, Christian. You're right on.
Okay, so very good. You're in the basement. FRL has had a lot of basement broadcasts. From the very inception of this show was done from my basement, and then
really that was the first show. Was it your like home basement?
First 100 and some shows were from my basement.
What?
That's where my whole setup was. It was in the basement of my house in Virginia. Yeah.
I had no idea. Wow, I didn't even know that.
You would have thought it was a main floor operation, but no, we were in the basement. Then I'm pretty sure Willie's setup was in the basement. Now you're in the basement. It is just the ultimate place to podcast, the basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually had to there's a guest room right next to me over here. But then the hallway, and then there's like the kids' playroom. I actually had to put we have a sliding door. So first there's nothing there, way too loud. Then we put like a sliding wood barn door there. Then the kids, obviously, they don't listen. They open it. They come back here. They act nuts. So now I have a lock on the sliding wood barn door so they cannot open it.
Well, you made a critical error by making your basement actually nice. So no one would ever want to go into the basement of my. Well, you could barely stand up. It was the laundry. It was unfinished. There's nothing you could do there. So it was a perfect setup for keeping a 4-year-old and 2-year-old out of your hair.
Nice.
So, all right, we have a lot to get into today. I'm really excited for today's show. We have to talk about this Jordan Burroughs, Burroughs-Gomez beef that escalated even further at Pan Am. We got to talk about Drake Ayala to Iowa. That's huge.
Okay.
Could talk a little more about the Oregon State stuff, but I want to start. I saw this. It was a meme on Instagram. I think it was from the FloWrestling Instagram page meme. I want to give proper credit here, but it asked the question, Ben, if you had to do a month of jail time to get the NCAA tournament to happen, and you would be able to like go and watch and participate in it, would you do the time? 1 month.
So me personally, or can I have someone do it in my stead?
Well, no, yeah.
I would do it. Listen, I would do it.
I would do it too.
I would do it, yes.
I would literally give up a month. I can't believe it. It's true, but then I thought about more. I really would have done it.
Well, you think about all the people who get joy out of it. You're gonna sacrifice for yourself, and you're gonna give everyone a whole lot of joy. And then, listen, you're gonna be a legend forever, Christian. That was the dude. That was the dude that went to jail to save the NCAA tournament.
He literally did time for this tournament.
Yes.
It would definitely be, because I think about, it would be basically a month of my life wasted. Not that wouldn't happen, but you could do some things. We talked a little bit about like living in isolation and whatnot. But I think the extended period of time of which I will feel sadness about there being no NCAA tournament will be for years. I think I'll be thinking about this for years, right? We're going to be talking about this in 5 years when Spencer Lee is maybe, whatever he's doing at that point, probably trying to make an Olympic team or something. He's a 3-time NCAA champion.
Christian, mention what you have in here. You're saying, and I haven't heard this, so I want you to break the news for me. You're hearing bad news about extra years for winter athletes.
Yeah, I'm hearing I had 2 different head coaches reach out to me and be like, hey, it sounds like it's not going to happen. They basically told us the spring is going to happen. Winter guys are not going to get an extra year.
Oh, my God.
So just absolute worst case scenario for it. Just robbed of a year, robbed of an opportunity, the chance to, fulfill a dream.
So how's that going to work out? Is Spencer Lee not going to be a 4-time NCAA champion?
No.
Come on.
He's not. It's unthinkably sad.
Was Caleb gonna sue or what?
Caleb is he's assembling his legal team. Yeah, I guess. And honestly, we joke about my son taking this to litigation, but I feel like the NCAA could reasonably get sued for this. I think there's like a lost wages argument that could be potentially made from what becoming an NCAA champion and being that and the fact that they could have redshirted. There's a lot.
Yeah. Well, hold on here. So, if the spring sports are out, right? I mean, that's what they're saying. Spring sports are done. We're going to redo that during the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And China's back to work after 2 months. They had essentially a 2-month shutdown. Why don't we just move the NCAAs to May or June? It's not like they're going to have another tournament there. The spring sports are canceled.
Listen, I'm about to do a month for this, so I don't care. It'll be fine.
You already got the bracket. You just take the bracket. You put the bracket here.
Get them in shape, and let's go. Yeah, I mean, listen, it sounds easy to me, but I'm sure it's far more complicated than that. I'm sure there's plenty of red tape they would have to cut through.
But they're going to have plenty of time, Christian. They're locked up, bro. They ain't got nothing to do. There's no other sports.
Sebastian
There's no other
Rivera's
games.
160 pounds. He's going to end up wrestling Alex Marinelli in the NCAA final.
They can't.
Sebastian Rivera won't stop eating.
How did he get that fat that fast?
He says every offseason, quote, I balloon up like a stink bug.
Like a stink bug. I think he means
Wow.
a tick, but I'm not correcting him.
He said that he has gotten up to 160 and made 125.
Same week.
I don't know how long the time frame was, but he was like,
kidding.
Chris. Oh my God. Okay, but seriously. So listen, the college coaches in all sports, they can't do any recruiting right now. They're just totally done. There's no sports going on in any of these colleges. Why don't we just give it like 2 more weeks, then see how we're doing. And then let's see, that'll be 2 weeks. Will be April 5 or something, right? Somewhere in there. And then we'll say, hey, let's do this in mid-May. Hey, let's do this in early June. And then we just do it because there's no spring sports.
Absolutely. I would love that.
Yeah.
coaches still can make calls and texts and stuff like that right now.
Sorry, they can't visit anybody.
Yeah, they can't visit, and no one can visit them.
As tweeted by every Division I coach in America.
For real.
Yeah, they're like, hey, just so you know, I'm still thinking about you, buddy. There's rules now. I can only text you. So what's up? Okay, so the big NCAA question: would you do the time? You have a less than 1 year.
Yeah, I got to. This isn't for me.
It's not
for me. I'm falling on that guy had to fall on the sword for everybody. That's what I'm doing here. I'm doing it for the 330 athletes and the coaches and the fans.
Yeah.
This is bigger than me.
What is the length of time to which you say, okay, that's too far? How much time is too much time for
probably a year?
Yeah. Probably a year. Ben is not ruling out giving up a year of his life for this NCAA tournament. It's probably in the year 9 to 12 month range. I think you start getting into 3 months and it starts to get it's a different discussion. But I'm doing a month for you guys. You think that'd be enough, but you don't want to know. You want to know where the line is. Okay, yeah, and sorry, very bad news about the winter athletes. That really stinks, and there's nothing else to say about it other than it stinks. I'm not trying to. Hopefully, different news comes out, but that's just try to keep you guys informed.
Can you correct me if I'm wrong?
Okay.
All the spring sports are canceled. Like their season not postponed, but their season is over.
I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah.
All the conferences are like canceling everything.
There'll be nothing going on in May or June.
Right.
Why don't they just put the basketball and the wrestling there? They're going to need to put something on TV.
Let's start a movement. Why not?
Why not?
Minneapolis will be lovely that time of year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You can't beat it. We'll be living it up on the lake a couple days before. We'll roll up. Jeez. Now I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
All right, when's my sentence start? Let's go.
Report 6 a.m. first thing tomorrow.
Do you get the broadcast from your jail cell?
Oh, wow. You get a Wi-Fi connection? I don't know. Charles Manson had like a blog or something. Who's to say I can't podcast? That guy killed how many people? Yeah, I think
Seriously.
so. I feel like the rights of prisoners is not all that bad considering. Okay.
Depends where you're jailed.
Depends where you're jailed. Certainly does. Bracky would know.
I've been to jail many times.
Many times. Huge criminal. All right. I want to talk about the Oregon State thing. Couple more names. I'm not breaking a story here, but I just want you to know the names that are floating about. I don't know the application process, who's applied or whatever, but here are the names. We've talked about Chris Pendleton, Jake Varner. I've heard there's interest. Mike Gray, Ethan Kyle, Jordan Lean, Adam Hall. So a laundry list of what I consider very high-quality candidates there. I'm sure there's other names involved. I don't know if all these guys have applied. Maybe they've been reached out to. Maybe they're interested. Whatever. But those are the names I'm hearing. Thoughts on that list?
I mean, I'll go with. I feel like I'm a stateist on this one, but it feels like those West Coast names like Adam Hall belong a lot more than the guys who are East Coasters like Mike Gray. Like Mike Gray at Oregon, it just doesn't sound right. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't think
Like,
so either. Yeah, I can't imagine Mike Gray would want that.
Yeah, Navy just opened up. Like if you told me Mike Gray's at Navy, like, oh, that sounds pretty good. Like that kind of makes sense. He was at Cornell, a really prestigious academic institution. Now he's going to Navy. Like I get that.
Mm-hmm.
So Pendleton, obviously, I think is going. Adam Hall was a really good one. That was one I did not think of. I think he would do a great job.
I didn't either. He's I think he's ready.
Yeah, and he seems to be doing a good job at NC State. He's from that out in that area. He wrestled at Boise State.
R.I.P.
Ethan Kyle, kind of a smaller name, but has been out at Wyoming forever, so knows the territory. Jake Varner, I don't know. When you put that name up there, it was like maybe I'm being mean here, but I feel like Jake Varner's just that really big, intimidating guy who stands in the corner and doesn't say much. And I don't know. I know literally nothing about his coaching skills.
Yeah, I don't either. But you could say that Kale is a little more subdued in the corner as well, and he might be he's probably the best coach there is.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so you're right.
But,
Varner did kind of surprise me. But what made it interesting to me is if he is interested, it's like basically the way I kind of view the Penn State group is like they're not going to throw their name out there and something they're just taking a flyer on. Like Casey Cunningham's name is mentioned around everything, but to my knowledge, he hasn't had hardly any interest in leaving, or I think he probably would have gone somewhere else by now. I mean, he's certainly would have had opportunity after opportunity given what he's accomplished at Penn State. So, I mean, the Iowa State job, the Michigan job, I think, not that Coach Bourmet wouldn't have got that, but just I don't think his name came up. So I feel like for Varner, if his name is out there, I feel like he is probably loosely interested in it, or more than just loosely interested in it, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
So curious, but it's they'll have a hard time messing this up because they have a lot of really good options there. I really feel good about those guys. What?
I thought you were saying because they have so much time, they got nothing else to do. They could just study the candidates. They can't, all
that
the ADs.
Yeah, there's no rush for anyone because Zaleski, they can't practice. They're not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
It's a violation of state and national law.
It's pretty much the ideal time to fire a coach, just in case anyone else is wondering. It is like if you fire someone right now, it sucks because now none of the kids will be running practice. They won't be doing practice. There's no one going to recruit. Well, hey, no one can practice right now. No one can recruit right now. Like it's actually like the perfect time to fire a coach. In case you were thinking about it.
But we're gonna try to make the NCAA tournament happen in June or May. So also be ready to that. If that happens, you're gonna have to really be ready to ramp it up quick.
Are we hearing anything on Navy?
No, I do think there's. I think Mike Gray would be a really good candidate there, like you said, Ben. But beyond that, I don't know who all has shown interest in that. I don't know. A lot of those guys, I could see them having interest in both. Like Adam Hall, I could see him. Yeah. Jordan Lean for sure. I don't know if Ethan Kyle would want. Maybe he wants to like kind of stay towards the western part of the country, given that's just kind of the territory he's known.
Yeah.
Maybe
Jordan Lean sounds like a good one.
Yes. He seems like he'd represent the midshipmen well. Okay, so that's the Oregon State thing. Maybe we'll get some more news about that. Try to get the Navy situation figured out as well. That's what we know, which is not much, but it's more than we knew yesterday, so we'll take it.
Yes.
All right. This Jordan Burroughs-Franklin-Gomez beef is something else. And I don't know if you guys have had the chance to watch their Pan Am Championships match yet. I think it was Championships. It wasn't games, whatever.
Yes.
This match was wild. Now, if you remember, rewind back a year, these two had a crazy one where Gomez did the thing you have to do to beat Jordan Burroughs in general, which is nickel and dime him, keep it close, keep it tight, snake one takedown, and pray, right? And he got the takedown. He was winning 2-2. This is the match a year ago. 2-2 with 10 seconds left. All he has to do is not get scored on, play defense, which he was able to do for 5 minutes and 50 seconds in the match. And Burroughs sprints at him like a banshee, takes 76 shots, 142 fakes, and in the last possible second gets a double leg and takes him down. And he just lets out a scream at Franklin Gomez and takes that match. Okay.
Yes.
So then you're like, whoa, that was a little extra something there. A little extra pizzazz from Jordan. What's going on here? Then they wrestle last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess now, and it's elevated to another level. So now this match differed in terms of the score. Burroughs, maybe he gave up the first point.
It was competitive, though. I think
it was.
It was 2-2 into the second, maybe a minute into the second. Then Burroughs scored a couple.
Burroughs was up 1 point at the break. I know that much. He got a step out really late.
2-1, yeah.
But there was a really dicey. So Burroughs was on the clock in the first, and he's driving on a double leg, and he gets the step out, but maybe doesn't, and he kind of stops through it.
Yeah.
Gomez spins behind and guts him. It literally could have been 4-0 Gomez there because Burroughs kind of was like, what the heck? He stepped out. But that kind of freaked me out a little bit because what? It would not be the weirdest thing for a step out to get missed and then give a continuation or something strange. And so that kind of was scary. But they make the right call and give him the step out point. But then he's smacking Gomez repeatedly, like clubbing him hard. He gives up. He does it once. He gets warned. He does it again. He gives up a point, which I think tied the match up. If not, put him behind. And so there's a key. It's very much as you would imagine. Gomez is actually attacking some, but it's Burroughs on the offense, and Gomez more looking for re-attack stuff. And then he gets his double and right into a lace, and that blows it open at 6-1. But then he gets another takedown, and the face mush, two-hand face mush on Gomez's head, just holding him down. It was wild. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
And then Franklin wouldn't shake his hand, right?
So, we got to get there. So that's just there's like a minute left at that point, right? There's still plenty of time for wrestling. So they wrestle it out, and Gomez isn't scored, and I don't think Burroughs scores anymore. And they end up in a little exchange, and time runs out, and Gomez is kind of on his knees, where he wrestled most of the match from, actually, just down low. And one thing I said to Bracky was what is the percentage of time where Jordan Burroughs' opponents are wrestling on their knees because they just don't want to stand up in front of him? It happens so much. But so Burroughs is getting up to walk back to center because the match is over. Gomez reaches time. It is up. There's no confusion about the match being over because Gomez is already conceded. He's just got his hands on the mat, his head's down. He's not wrestling anymore. Then the thing's up, and he grabs Burroughs' leg, and Jordan just kind of kicks out of it. I'm surprised Jordan actually in that moment didn't do more. And Jordan walks back to center, and Franklin Gomez, who is basically regarded as the world's nicest human, he's getting chesty with Jordan, like he's kind of swollen up on him. Maybe we're about to do this right here in Canada, just throw down in Ottawa. And Jordan, of course, is just standing there looking at him. And it's a really tense exchange. And it's for it to get to this level with these two, there's something else going on that there's this this intense.
Well,
of a
you think
rivalry.
like Franklin Gomez stole his girlfriend like 15 years ago or something?
I would imagine Jordan's over that, as he's a happily married man and father. I honestly think it is. I know for a fact Jordan does not like that Franklin Gomez trains at Nittany Lion and that he's got American.
Oh, really?
coaches. Yes, 100%. He has told me that. So I know he does not. He does not like these guys getting the foreign trade. That Bexod was there and he was there. There's two of his rivals, a guy that almost beat him and a guy that literally beat him. That not only does that bother me, it also bothers one of the greatest to ever do it, Jordan Burroughs. So I'm not on an island there. So he does not like that fact. So I don't know if that is an extra thing. I think there's also the idea that Franklin Gomez doesn't. He thinks he's trying to game wrestling him, which. I don't know why that bothers Jordan. That's literally been happening to him since 2011.
Yeah. Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Franklin is one. It's like literally such a nice guy. And I guess that makes a little sense with the heat about the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. But, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty well connected. I haven't heard anything else. I don't know anything else about the situation. But, yeah, there is some serious amount of chippiness there. And I feel kind of like with Jordan, when these other guys have gotten chippy with him, like a Kyle Dake, like Jordan gets chippy pretty easy.
Well, I think in many of the cases, I think Jordan, he, like with Dake, he for sure initiated a lot of the.
Sure, yeah.
You think about the U.S. Open final in 17, and I mean, he likes to be right at the line of like between physicality and like a little something extra. And he's been doing that routinely, and he's been getting, and also going back 2011 on, he's been getting dinged for his clubs forever. I mean, he has always been clubbing dudes' heads, and like sometimes they won't say anything, and sometimes they'll make a federal case about it. But that's just kind of been a part of his game, is that he's like got a really physical club that he uses from time to time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. They got chippy. That was fun. I'd watch it again for sure.
I would too, and we may at the if Jordan makes a team, which and you know Gomez probably has to make the Puerto Rican team somehow, but I think he's going to do that. But Burroughs beats Dake. We could see it at the Olympic Games, which would be interesting.
Puerto Rico kind of getting a salty team. They got Seabass in there. They got Franklin Gomez. Ethan Ramos, if he would have ended up on the other side of the bracket, he might have made the finals, because the guy that made the finals at Pan Am's, no good. Not good at all. Because, right, Taylor and Peralta Torreblanca were on the top.
Yes.
You guys know what I'm talking about? 86 kg.
No, absolutely.
If Ethan Ramos is on the bottom, he might be an Olympic qualifier.
3 Olympians potentially for Puerto Rico.
Jose Rodriguez too.
Oh yeah, Jose Rodriguez. He is like, he was a 125 pounder. He was so big, but he technically was. He looks big at 65.
I'm pretty sure he won a D2 national title.
Yeah, at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Burroughs Gomez rivalry. Hopefully we see an additional chapter. Oh my gosh. That's okay. We're looking at, he's got the Notre Dame what's this called, roster pulled up here. It's looking at
I always get so confused about how Puerto Rico actually gets their own team, because they are actually a territory of the United States. They're not their own country. So how do they even get their own team? That's one that I always get confused about.
Well, I don't understand the territory versus a state thing. Like I don't know what that all means.
What about enclaved microstate?
Enclaved microstate. San Marino is an enclaved microstate, which has about the square. What is bigger? Or we have to put your money where your mouth is, Ben. You got to just make a bet.
I'm a geography major. Let's do this.
Okay. What has more land mass, Manitowoc County or San Marino, the enclaved microstate?
I got to assume it's Manitowoc County.
That would be my bet.
It might even
have
a larger population. All
right, I'm going to look up San Marino size.
It's right here.
Okay.
Yeah, here's the area.
The area, okay. 61.2 or 23.6 square miles, all right? What is Manitowoc?
It's definitely bigger than that. Got to be bigger.
It's bigger.
It's
Manitowoc County is almost 1,500 square miles. It's so much bigger.
Oh, dominate!
Wow.
Let's
Geography
go.
major Ben Askren.
Not even close.
Not just an athlete.
All right.
Wow. All right.
Here we go. Congress can make a territory into a state at any time. So here's what we need to do, guys. We need to go talk to Congress and say, we don't want Burroughs versus Gomez at the Olympics. We want Burroughs versus Gomez at the trials.
Yes.
They then convert Puerto Rico into a state.
Yeah.
And Franklin has to wrestle at the trials.
Why not a 51st state?
We want Sebastian Rivera in the 57 kilo mix in the U.S.
Absolutely. If he can
Yep.
still do that. Sebastian Rivera by 2024 is going to be wrestling Kyle Dake, I'm sure.
He did say
Wow.
it was just like, I got to try to make the weight.
I got to try.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't seem like super confident he was going to make it.
That's not good. He just made it a couple months ago. Sebastian, I think you could still do it, buddy. You made it in like December. You made it instead of going to Vegas. I think you could. I would dare say.
Oh, watch the interview with him on our site.
I know he blows up like a stink bug, but I'm holding out hope he can make it. All right.
Hey, I got a unique fact. This is not as good as Alien Hour, but it's kind of funny. You guys want to hear it?
Hit it.
Okay, so Congress can make a territory into a state at any time without getting permission from anyone. But Congress usually waits for a territory to request statehood. Utah, for example, formally asked for statehood 8 times over a period of 50 years before they were admitted to the union. That's like a desperate ex-girlfriend right there who just keeps saying, "Will you go out with me?" And you say no. And then she comes back again and again 8 times.
8 straight texts.
Dang.
What are you doing?
Look more desperate.
Where you
Utah.
at? Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Come on, guys. You gotta play a little hard to get. Be like, fine. You should be like, man, fine. I've been talking to Russia anyways. Say something like that. Then we got. Can you imagine if like Utah was just Russia and we were just surrounded by it? We're like, actually, it's kind of a weird thing, but that's actually Russia. We can't make much sense of it either, but we kind of messed that one up. Okay.
Utah got turned out 8 times. Oh, that's brutal.
Puerto Rico should
Wow.
want. Wouldn't you imagine Puerto Rico would want statehood? They would be entitled to a lot more like help.
Someone said on Facebook they definitely asked for it.
Oh man, hook it up. Donald J.
Yeah,
Trump.
hook
I
it
think
up.
it's time. Or I don't know. That's probably Congress. Congress. It's time. Let's let Puerto Rico in.
No, the citizens voted it down, according to Michael
Yes.
Flugfelder in the Facebook comments.
He's a frequent listener, so I believe him. All right. Enough Puerto Rico talk for now. We can always circle back. If there's any breaking news on Puerto Rico becoming a state, feel free to interrupt our 2010 talks.
Matt Hunt said we waited until Utah had the Sandersons to accept them.
That's great. Yes, that was smart. It's like, you know what?
Oh, man.
What's in it for us? Ski slopes, okay, great, but we have Colorado for that. They're like, we have this family, and they are going to be, trust me, they're going to help your wrestling situation. And you said, you know what? Enough's enough. Let's let these people in. All right. Yesterday we broke down the 2009 NCAA Wrestling Championships. It was pretty fun. A couple things we didn't get to discuss, but I don't know. We'll have nothing but time to circle back to anything we want at any point in time because this isn't changing anytime soon. Oh, yeah, we forgot quarantine updates, though, before we get to 2010. Do you have any quarantine updates? Anything going on? We were just checking in on life at home, if anything crazy, any changes from yesterday to today, anything.
At my house?
Yeah.
I convinced my wife to go split some wood with me last night. That's how bored she was.
Wow. Amy
I said, honey,
Aspen.
let's go have a romantic date and split a little bit of wood.
Wow.
And we did it. And it was fantastic. You know what I really enjoy? I'm going to go deep here about splitting wood or certain other things is, like, you're at risk of losing a finger or two. So you can't just be like, la, 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 thinking about whatever. You actually have to be, like, engaged in the task at hand so you don't cut your finger off. So you're not thinking about all the other bull crap. You're just thinking about splitting the wood. It's fantastic.
Wait, so when you split the wood, does that mean you're using like a machine, not an axe?
Oh, yeah. I got way too much wood to split to use an axe.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Zach Ritchie, he's listening. He credits. He's a wrestler, state champ. He punched a kid in the face a couple times once. He credits his like really strong shoulders because his dad had him split wood with an axe, and they had like a wood stove and stuff. So
If
definitely
Nice.
helps.
when you got in trouble at Ohio? Like you didn't do enough study hall hours, or you didn't go meet with your academic advisor or something? Greenlee made you go do work on his farm.
There's no way that's legal.
No way.
That's a violation.
Dang it, we have to edit this out.
Allegedly, all
It never,
alleged.
but the
It
good
was
thing
all
was
volunteer.
and no one ever got in trouble, so it never came to that. It was just fun times on the farm.
Yeah.
Farm work is actually kind of fun. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It just takes you a different place than you are, so it's great.
So yeah, I don't really have nothing crazy happened. We're using, hopefully, there's no way anyone listens to this that is friends with my wife or our children, but we're using the coronavirus thing as a way to avoid some play dates with some kids we don't want to have play dates with. So.
Oh, that's so mean, Christian.
I'm sending this to your whole neyborhood.
No, it's not mean. Those kids are mean. I don't want those kids in my house. Stay out.
Oh,
There's
mean fans.
Yeah. So we're doing that. Yeah, that's the main update. Anything changed at the Brackey household?
Bitcoin up 12% today. How about that?
Okay. Well, just wait for it.
Fantastic.
When people aren't working for another month, we'll see where it's at.
Hayden is still teething, so that's been a lot of fun.
Man.
No, we just watched TV, hung out, and tried to keep him as comfortable as possible yesterday.
I've started watching Seinfeld on Hulu again. I highly recommend it. Great show. Have you ever watched it?
I mean, I've watched it when it was on TV.
You don't like it, Ben?
I've never like sat down from the beginning and watched.
I watched a little bit, not like I was never a regular watcher, but like runs through on or something back in say 2004 maybe.
Oh man, I love Seinfeld so much. It's really good.
You know what show too? I'll let my wife pick out one show at a time, and we watch it, and that's
Only
my only
if she
show I watch.
splits wood.
I only got her split with one time. That's a good deal. I should try that one on her. Yeah. The Righteous Gemstones. You ever heard of that?
I have, but I haven't seen it.
It was fun. It's really fun. It's really stupid, but I like stupid humor, so I really appreciate it. I think it's funny.
All right, check out the Righteous Gemstones.
If you want really stupid reality TV, on Netflix, Love Is Blind.
I've heard about this one. Is it bad?
It's a terrible show, but it's like one of those things like it's hard to not
kind of
watch.
car crash situation.
Yeah. These people like date like through a wall.
Really?
Yeah. And
What?
then and then like after a week they like propose to people.
Oh my god.
And then they have like a month to figure out whether they really want to get married or not.
Oh
It's
my
a
God.
total mess.
That sounds great. What could go wrong? I can just see the guy sitting around. He's like, what if they date for a month? Hear me out. There's a wall. They never see each other.
It's what's his name? Nick Lachey is like the host of it.
The 98 Degrees guy?
I don't know which one he was.
I think he was 98 Degrees. He's the one that married Jessica Simpson. Okay.
Nice. Good pick, buddy. Hey,
Ben was a
enjoy it.
Jessica Simpson fan.
oh, not of her music, just of, whatever
Whatever.
she's got going on.
He's married to somebody else though in this show, and they
Oh, man.
co-host it.
Oh.
Hey, guys, breaking news.
Oh, boy.
Russian Nationals in Ulan-Ude postponed.
Postponed. When was it going to be? April?
April 23 through 27. I thought Putin wasn't letting the coronavirus in.
Well, it's funny. They're definitely liars in a dishonest government like the Chinese government. So they're probably lying about how much they have. But we were talking about this morning, as coronavirus is often a topic of conversation now for everyone. But like Russia has like pretty strict borders. So unlike Europe, which just lets everyone go everywhere and come in and go out at any point in time, I think Russia is a little more stringent on who they do and don't let in. And so that kind of isolationist mentality can have some benefits, right? And it could be all right. But also there is a strong case that they're lying because they are liars. So you got to take the good with the bad, but hopefully it's not. I don't want it to be bad there, but because that is
The
probably
Russian
not
government has
equipped
never
to
told a
help.
lie. Give me a break.
They would never. Not Vlad. Stay safe, Gregory. We're thinking about you, buddy. Stay on the run. Okay.
Oh, man.
Should we go to 2010? This is a good year for the
Yes.
Askren family.
This was a good year. Max won a title. It was fantastic.
Oh, spoiler alert.
This was
Man.
They haven't figured that out. They need some help. This was in Omaha. It was, I believe it was a nice warm weekend in Omaha. We had a lot of really good matches. A lot of fun.
I was not at this one in attendance. I was watching.
I was at this one.
Man, lucky Bucks. I'm sure, and I know Ben was there as well. So, this was at the high level, 2010 NCAA Championships. Iowa cleaned up. They won real big. If you scroll up, you can get the team scores. So we're going to have we listen. Feedback is a gift. That will forever be a something we live by here at Flow. And you guys were like, hey, it would help if we had the bracket, to which I say, yeah, that was kind of a no-brainer. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to have the bracket so it's like a little more visual.
look at that.
Well, we
Nice.
can't have the matches, so we're going to throw that over so you can check out the team scores. So 134.5 for the Hawkeyes. Second place, Cornell, 90. For those of you keeping score at home, that's like 45.5 point difference. Iowa State third, 75. Wisconsin fourth, 70.5. Wisconsin right there had a really good good season.
Good squad that year. That was I believe that was the last year Pritzloff was there. I think.
I believe you're right, because he went to Michigan for a little bit and then Rutgers. How about the staff that Michigan had for a little bit there?
That was crazy.
With Pritzloff and Borbet, everyone's like, both these guys are like head coaches and they're assistants at Michigan under McFarland. It's like hammer squad. So Iowa won big. This was Cale's first season at Penn State. They redshirted everyone they could, and they still finished ninth because Dan Valamont did well. They wrestled Frank Molinaro, who got fifth. He was starting to emerge. This was the year where he jumped levels for Penn State. Started at 125, where early round heat had Ryan Mango wrestle Andrew Long in round one. Andrew Long, out of the 5, ends up making the finals here in a crazy bracket. This bracket had 1, 2, 3 NCAA champions in it, I believe. 4? No, with Nickerson. So you had Angel Escobedo, champ. Anthony Robles, champ. Matt McDonough, 2-time champ. Troy Nickerson, champ in there. So
I forgot how dominant McDonough was. You know, he went 15-0, 10-6, 9-0, 14-3 to the finals. Damn, smashed everybody.
He did smash everybody. Now you have to remember that he hit Cash Kuroga unseeded in the semis.
Because Nickerson had a really bad shoulder that year and lost to Fred Santate in the second round.
Yeah, how about this? So if you don't know, Troy Nickerson was just the dude. He was the man out of New York, and for Cornell, he was an NCAA champion at this point already. And his shoulder comes out all the time. It would just come out in the matches, and if it would come out in the match, it would be hard for him to win. And it came out against Santate of Boston, whose basically lone claim to fame was that he won this match. But the cool thing was Nickerson wrestled back for fourth. He lost in round 2 because his shoulder was leaving its socket all the time, and he still battled back to place, right?
I remember that Angel had a really bad shoulder too, and they wrestled for third and fourth, and the whole place they were both seniors, and the whole place gave him a standing ovation. It was really cool.
It was awesome. It's so crazy how like 20,000 people know that like. They don't just know that these guys are seniors and really good and they're national champions. They also, it's just understood. It's like these guys have battled so much because Angel was going through a lot of that himself, right? With both having shoulder injuries and they battle back for a third. Just so gutty. And, you know, for Escobedo to lose in the semis, you can see that going the wrong way and just like triple dip. What? I'm an NCAA champion, whatever. That's a lot of pride to wrestle back. So Angel Escobedo, now the head coach at Indiana, Troy Nickerson, the head coach in Northern Colorado. It was cool to see them. And I'm trying to find Nickerson's path back. He went through. Okay, here's his path back. Ryan Mango, really good. Ross Katomer, he was a beast for Blair and then went to UVA. He's now the coach at St. Christopher's. Brad Pataki of Penn State, who had hit a mixer against everybody. Then Anthony Robles, he beats him 2-1. Yep. He pins Cash Kuroga, who made the semis, out of his quarter, and then falls to Escobedo. Really gutty finish there. And then for for Escobedo, he took out Sanders 10-3. Zach Sanders, who's a 4-time All-American from Minnesota, and then Nickerson. So pretty awesome stuff on the backside. There's thousands of stories like that, but man, some things like that just stick out. And you had a scrappy freshman, Matt McDonough and Andrew Long, make the finals here. McDonough beating Long for the second time that season. Those two, it was funny because those two had a match in the duel in, well, that was probably November of this season. And you're like, oh, what a fun match. These freshmen are going to be fun to watch over the years. And it was kind of high scoring. It was like a 9-6 kind of match, and they're both taking each other down. It's like, oh, these kids are going to be pretty good. Wrong. They were the two best that year. They wound up being the two best that year. Like, just didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't known, but obviously some of the things that are driving me crazy is Anthony Lopez took 7th place this year.
Ben, you kind of sound like a robot. I don't know what happened.
Uh-oh. Am I here? Can you hear me?
Hey, I
that's
don't know.
better.
Just alerting the robot helps.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Well, Anthony Robles took 7th this year, and when he took 7th, not one person complained about how it was an advantage to have one leg. And then all of a sudden, over the offseason, he puts in some work. He figures out some techniques that work a little better for him, and all of a sudden, having one leg is a huge advantage.
Yep,
it was oh my God, the stupidity in this is just beyond my belief.
I actually had that down. Like, this was the year where Robles having one leg wasn't a huge advantage, but somehow that flipped because he just got better at wrestling. That is crazy. That is an all-time horrible take that you could
Horrible
say.
take.
I mean, is there a worse take you can have in wrestling than that a one-legged person has an advantage over you? You know who has an advantage? People with two legs. Everyone has an advantage and disadvantage.
I always say this, Christian. I always say when people say, I said, well, name me another good one-legged person if it's such a huge advantage to have one leg. And
yeah,
you'd think because it's not like they can be good at track and field or basketball or anything else, so they would all gravitate towards the sport of wrestling if that was really a huge advantage.
Yeah, it's not a huge advantage. He made it. The whole point of wrestling is to take your body and turn it into a series of advantages. Ben Askren was not shooting blast doubles through people and shooting a lot of low singles. You had to make your body a winner. And that's what Robles did.
Yeah.
So all the whiners, you just got to. This is the worst take. You just got to keep that take internally and not tell anyone because you sound insane. You cannot present to me a case that this is some huge advantage. It was wild. It was wild.
Oh, my God.
I remember one time Tom Brands was doing this like roundtable interview with these guys. This was like right around this time, or in 2011, after McDonough lost to him. And this old guy was like, that wasn't right. There's that. And like Tom like was so respectful. He's like, no, it's not an advantage. He's like, that kid is blah, 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 blah. It was really classy. But this guy, Tom, is like getting totally like, that wasn't right that McDonough had to wrestle this guy with one leg. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's interesting as we enter, and I don't want to step on the conversation we're going to have about 125, as we're going to make that little bracket of 8 like you suggested.
Oh, my God. It's so fun.
Robles in that field is so interesting because it's like, it's easy to say, I kind of think he beats everyone. And then
Spencer Lee. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? I don't know.
Someone's getting tilted.
Yeah.
I have a whole thing on how I think that match goes, but I'm not.
I'm so excited to hear it.
What a tease.
What a tease. You're gonna have to wait literally weeks for that one potentially. But maybe we start rolling it out. We are slaves to no structure here, so we can do anything we want. Any other things stand out at 125 pounds? Tony Gravely, Appalachian State. He was from Virginia. Stand up. So that was cool.
Someone pointed out on Facebook that Zach Sanders lost first round, battled all the way back. He lost to Gerard Garnett and then won like 6 matches in a row on the backside.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. Go Gerard Garnett, but he ultimately did not place this year. Okay.
He got triggered.
He lost to Nico Trigas.
He got triggered.
He would never lose to Nico Trigas. In 1,000 matches, I think this is the one time he would have lost to Nico Trigas. That makes no sense. Oh, jeez. I hate thinking about that. I forgot all about that. Now you just ruined my day, Nico Trigas and Kyle Brackey.
Sorry.
All right. 33 is awesome. Let's go.
33 is so awesome. Jordan Oliver balled out. He had a great tournament here. I remember. But the story here was Jason Ness, who makes the finals. we had Jason Ness first, Daniel Dennis in the ultimate gut-wrenching or agony, thrill of victory, agony of defeat moment where Ness hits the little sweep to the duck, body lock to take out Dennis, who had the match in the bag.
Yeah. I forgot, in this break, I forgot how close Oliver was with everybody.
Oh, he really hit his stride there. The Jo Ness match was crazy because they kept riding each other. They couldn't get away. It was, no one could take each other out. Ness kind of famously occasionally would have issues getting away from guys, and Jordan rode him tough. I forget. He kept chopping them and riding them out and stuff like that. But ultimately, Ness was able to win. But that one went into tiebreakers. Crazy one there. This one only had 3 NCAA champions.
Yeah, Jordan's wins are 3-2, 6-4, 5-4, 4-3 on the backside, and then he lost to Burroughs-Gomez pretty bad.
He would enter into a different realm the next year. He was an undefeated NCAA champion the next season. This was the year he beat. This was his freshman season. This was the year he beat Dennis at Carver Hawkeye. I'm pretty sure.
That
was a crazy one because he was like, I think he was winning, or like I think Dennis was winning late, and I think Oliver snaked one at the end and beat him.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
A lot of this is just literally from memory because the matches don't exist anywhere, unfortunately.
How about Kendrick Maple, Boris Novichokov first round?
Yes,
I saw that.
So Maple unseeded. He was just kind of a scrappy freshman who somehow made 133 pounds all year. And you were like, he might become something. And I think, so he has this season, then he redshirted, I want to say. He won something like a university thing in freestyle, kind of got on everyone's radar. And then, boom, the next year, or in 2012, was it 12 or 13, he was the NCAA champion?
I think 13.
13, I think, yes. Yep.
He beat Mitchell.
Yeah, the other one here that's funny is Kendrick Maple on the backside has Scotty Sentes, who obviously would go on to have a huge amount more success, but Sentes was 0-2 at this NCAAs.
Yes, and in this 2010 bracket, here's how many unseeded NCAA finalists we had that would go on to become NCAA finalists. Kendrick Maple, Nick Amuchastegui, Brandon Hatchett, Robert Hamlin, Mike Miller, Mike Pucillo, and Steve Bozak, all unseeded. Pucillo, Bozak would all become NCAA champions. Pucillo was unseeded? Hold on. Yes, this is the year.
Yeah, this year. Yeah.
Do you remember this, Ben? Mike Pucillo and Mike Miller, we're skipping ahead, but here we go.
Oh, yeah, they had a pigtail, didn't they?
Pigtail. We had an NCAA champion, a former NCAA champion, a former NCAA finalist hit in the pigtail, both unseeded guys.
Jeez.
That was mind-blowing. All right.
Yeah.
Back to 133. This was a great NCAA tournament, guys. Holy cow.
Yeah. I'm ready to move to 41 if you guys are.
Let's proceed. 141. This is the
baby kid.
Yes, baby kid dynamite. 141 was the 1 seed, but we were all like, I'm telling you, coming into this tournament, we did not know who was going to win. We did not know what was inside Kyle Dake's head and heart. We thought, good freshman, number 1 ranked. He was a deserved number 1. But he had 2 losses on the year. He lost to Humphrey and Bailey coming into the season. Humphrey was on his side. I'm pretty sure I thought Humphrey was going to win this bracket. I thought he was the guy to win. The best guy at the weight. But he ended up being the 4.
It's hard to imagine Kyle Dake was that small now. Thinking back there, it seemed normal, but now it's really, really hard to imagine. Man, this bracket was so tough, and it kind of fell apart because Jamal Parks lost so early to Tyler Nauman, who was good, but he was the 10. And then that kind of paved the way. And then also Mike Thornton lost at the 3, so that paved the way for Montel Marion to make the finals from the 6.
Shout out Jermaine Lindsay.
Shout out Ohio's Jermaine Lindsay. Kind of made the path for Montel Marion to make the finals was it was really laid out beautifully for him because he should have had Mike Thorne in the quarters. Mike Thorne was they had battles. They went back and forth over the years, right? So Jermaine Lindsay takes care of that. And then so he beats Jermaine Lindsay 7-5 in overtime.
That match was
That
wild.
was a crazy match. Like
Yeah.
Lindsay was in the like match-winning takedowns and stuff. Like he almost won. And then the Nauman match, like this should have been Jamal Parks, who I think they would have wrestled in the duel. I can't remember how
Probably.
that match went. And you have to.
I think Jamal Parks beat him.
You have to assume that he was the 2 seed, right? And
Yeah.
because Marion was the 6. But Nauman takes out Parks, which leads to, okay, Marion should be a huge favorite in this one, but it was a 7-6, another crazy one for Marion to make the finals there. And now another thing you have to remember this was the Joey Slayton shoplifting year where he would have been the starter at 41. They couldn't get him in the lineup because he like got kicked out of school or was ineligible or something. So he beat Marion at Midlands that year. Joey Slayton was an Iowa Hawkeye NCAA finalist. He's the guy that Coleman Scott pinned, and he couldn't get into school or in the lineup, or I forget how it worked. But Slayton couldn't get in, so it was Marion. And shoot, what do you know? Iowa's got a little bit of depth, and he made the NCAA finals, losing to one of the greatest to ever do it, 7-3, Kyle Dake.
Wow, did you guys know? I'm trying to figure out what happened. Oklahoma State, Iowa. Oklahoma State has all these old duel highlights on YouTube.
Really?
Yes, I found the 2011 duel highlight, but I'm trying to find the 2010 of them versus Iowa.
I would just like to find the box
Oh my
score.
goodness.
Oh, here I got the box score. Get ready. We're gonna find out where'd it go?
Oh my goodness!
I
got the 2009 duel. I need to find the 2010.
Got it. Montel beat Jamal Parks that year 4-0.
Wow.
So Montel must have had some weird results for him to end up at the 6 and Parks was still the 2. So I don't know what happened there. This is where this was the duel where Brent teched Quentin Fuentes, who bit him. I remember that. He bit him in this match. I remember I had a really good message board line there because that's where that was my outlet for wrestling, and someone was like, "Why would he bite him?"
You were a message board poster?
Oh my, yes, that is the genesis of all of this, Ben Askren. All of this.
What was your name?
Virginia is for lovers. VA is for lovers.
Oh my God! I think I remember. That handle.
I was more so my message board home was a place called thewrestlingtalk.com. I didn't like the Matt forums as much. I thought that I didn't find the conversation as interesting or fulfilling or whatever. So I was there, but someone's like, why did this guy bite Brent Metcalf? And I said he wanted to taste greatness, and so that was my line. Okay, wow. We were quite a rabbit hole. I was actually thinking about that this morning, the wrestlingtalk.com.
BA is for lovers. That's funny.
Yeah, baby.
How about Marion's first match was against Cole Van Olen, who then would go
He's
on
tough.
to get like the 3 seed like multiple years in a row.
Yeah, he had someone, I think his uncle was on the seeding committee. He always had these ridiculous seeds at NCAAs that made me like lose my mind.
I don't think he ever placed either.
He never placed, no. He was like really good on top, like kind of he was a scrapper for sure. Cole Van Olen was really good, but
Yeah.
never really a top 3 guy.
11-8 that match was.
So this was the Humphrey Dake. Am I misremembering? Humphrey would not go under Dake.
Bottom.
Yeah,
he
he chose
wouldn't go
neutral,
bottom.
but it still went to overtime. I don't
Dake
remember
was
that.
really good on top, though.
I
Remember
know.
that?
Oh well, yeah, he was so. I know that, but for like a fourth or fifth year senior Reese Humphrey to not go under a true freshman Kyle Dake was crazy. When he had beaten him before, right? He had beaten him, and I thought he went under him, but I think he felt some heat on top. He did not want any part of, which I understood.
He
did
beat
not
him at
think
Vegas that year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and Bailey beat him. I don't know if Bailey beat him at Vegas too, or
I think they both. I think he lost 2 at Vegas. I think Dake lost both of them at Vegas.
yeah.
Yeah.
But man, am I misremembering that? I didn't think this match went to tiebreakers.
I think Dake wrote him out, didn't he?
Evidently
win.
so. Evidently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That definitely maps to something that I think would happen. I don't know why I can remember so much random stuff, but I can't remember every little detail other than he didn't go bottom against Kyle Dake.
Don't be so hard on yourself that you don't remember every single match from an NCAA tournament 10 years ago, Christian.
It's an NCAA semi with a legend. I should remember Kyle Dake's matches, but yeah, it happened. I think I didn't know I was watching a future legend at the time. I thought I was just watching a really good freshman. It's so funny. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
49. You ready for it?
I forgot Lance Palmer was the one. Do you remember? He beat
Metcalf.
Brett Metcalf at Big Tens. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot that.
And speaking of not going bottom, Brink chose neutral in that one after Lance Palmer gave him some real issues in Big Tens. They had a weird exchange. The Big Ten final was a weird match.
Yeah,
because
that was weird.
There was a weird locked hands on Brent, and then there was exchange where he caught him on his back.
Yes.
But yeah, Palmer, I mean, he was 0 for his life against Brent Metcalf. But if you remember, going back to excuse me, I'm burping. I don't know why. It was the 07-08 or 08-09 season. They had a crazy NCAA quarter where Lance was in on the match-winning double, and Brent did the crazy Granby roll out of it to not get scored on. Lance did wrestle Metcalf tough. Mm-hmm. But then
Lance was tough. I mean, Lance is a 4-time All-American. I want to say like top 5 every year or something like that.
Yeah, he was always way up there. Really, really talented guy. Really good on top with double legs, power half.
Yeah, he had 2 falls this tournament, including Jason Chamberlain in a minute.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, he just double-legged him, took him down, double legs, power half, done. Yeah, he was really, really tough. Palmer had to beat, he goes Chamberlain by fall, Frank Molinaro in the semis, and then Brent Metcalf falls to Brent Calf that year. And did Brent win the Hodge this year?
Yeah.
He had a loss.
Ness won it this year. Brent won it in 2008 when his sophomore year. That was the only year someone with a loss has won the Hodge.
The only year? That's the only year? The one guy did.
Only year.
I thought the one...
Who?
What was his name? I don't remember his name.
No, definitely the only guy. I mean, they gave the award to Nick Ackerman, the double amputee, who he had losses. That was like, we're in Iowa and we just want to give it to Iowa kid to make everyone feel. I get so pissed about that, Christian. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, I know. I think we've actually...
You've ranted about it before.
That's not the first time we've talked about it on radio.
Because listen, I understand the feeling, but then if you're going to set that precedent for a guy winning D3s with no legs, which is great, right? I'm not crapping on that. Yeah. But then you're going to not give it to Robles when Robles had legit stats to win the Hodge. Like in some years, Robles' stats win the Hodge, and you're not going to give it to him win magazine. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. How about this round 1 match? Kyle Borshoff versus James Fleming. James Fleming is one of those forgotten guys. You want to talk about a unique style and innovator. This dude basically had an entire wrestling existence based on strangling people and putting them on their back. Like he did this like brutal thing. He called it the snapper. He would lock up like not like a Merkel front headlock, but like the other way front headlock, and would dive over and basically put so much pressure on your neck and throat and jaw that you would roll over. I'm
not even sure you can do it anymore.
You can't do it anymore. It's like literally James Fleming's rule, which is amazing. If you get rules like named after you, like if you're the reason for a rule, I think it should be like named after you, at least out of respect. Like that is the James Fleming rule. He was straight. Nick Simmons was a guy that did this internationally. Yeah. Jake Varner would do it internationally, take guys over. It was absolutely brutal though.
Yeah.
He would put guys out with it. For real. It looked awful. But he like crafted this style around like counter wrestling and being really good on top. And he would just get tech after tech after tech after tech. But this is before I think he had really figured it out in 2010. But he wrestled Kyle Borshoff, who's now the head coach at Binghamton. Mm-hmm. Borshoff was really good. He had a win over Lance Palmer in his career. He hadn't really emerged at this point yet.
He still got on the podium this year.
Yeah, this was the beginning of his ascent maybe. Okay.
I totally forgot Torsten Gillespie got on the podium. That's Greg Gillespie's brother. I totally blanked on that one.
Because he was not good basically that entire – I mean, it's all relative, right? But That was a total curveball that he got on the podium, and he didn't podium again, I don't believe, but he did have like deep runs.
I don't think so.
At NCAAs after this, as I recall.
Yes.
Okay, so this was a crazy one. So Metcalf in this final, he ends up shooting. He shoots like in the first 5 seconds, gets a takedown, and had a tough ride out of Palmer, where Palmer was like kind of calling for injury time. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, Palmer was kind of calling for injury time or like gesturing with his hand. And I think Metcalf like grabbed the hand that was like trying to gesture for it, so he couldn't, because he had like a bent leg Turk or something. It was kind of brutal, but like nothing illegal or anything. But he wanted like a restart, and so I think Metcalf had a really long ride out, or at least a long ride, and he didn't get. But Palmer did get away there, so that captured or finished off a legendary career for the Brent Calf.
The Brent Calf.
The Brent Calf. All right, 57. This was a kind of a random one. This is not the most interesting. With JPO wins it. JPO kind of one of those forgotten NCAA champs. This is when Steve Fittery. This is the year Steve Fittery transferred from Shippensburg to American and was like, he's like randomly won Midlands. And we're like, who the heck is Steve Fittery? Like no one knew who he was or anything about him. There was like no like chatter like, hey, keep an eye out for Steve Fittery, and he was the 4 seed, and then he would later be the really high seed at NCAAs the next year as well.
Wasn't it? Yeah, the next year didn't he lose to David Taylor in the semis?
Yeah,
maybe?
he kind of got pieced up in that one.
Yeah. The big one here that was Dustin Slater. So he injured defaulted out of Big Tens. They still gave him the 6th seed, and he was just couldn't wrestle. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it.
That's all there is to it. He was very hurt and kind of started the. Well, it was the first memory I had of a guy just forfeiting out of the tournament. He did the injury default thing and then forfeited out. I was like, this is weird. And then he still went to NCAAs and took up a spot, and then he couldn't get healthy. I think they do need to do something about that. It's just not good.
I think that was the first year where it happened, Christian. I don't remember. First year where it was possible to happen, right? Because we talked about the old system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And J-Rob's ahead of the curve, always was. This is more hokey tears were shed when Jesse Dong got pinned by Justin Lister of Binghamton. That was a huge match. I was very sad. Justin Lister was unseeded, made the semis for Binghamton. Jesse Dong was a really good guy that never placed.
Oh, and the other guy missing from this bracket is Burroughs because he tore his ACL. Remember?
Yes.
So he should have been in here
against Steve Brown of Central Michigan, who was the 12 seed here.
Yep.
Yeah, Burroughs would have ran through this weight with no issue whatsoever. But I'm glad the way it all played out, because we got Burroughs Howe, which is a lot more of a cool way for him to finish his career, even though Howe didn't make the finals that year because his hamstring literally tore off the bone. And yet he still came back. That was crazy. I remember this. Holy cow! This is a deep message board cut. I think it was a Wisconsin wrestling board. I'm sure years prior, Ben Askren bragged
You
about.
visited the Wisconsin wrestling board?
Dude, this was my life, Ben. This was all I did. I was just like looking.
What?
Oh, yeah. So Jared Frayer, when he was a coach at Wisconsin, I think he got on the board and said, hey, serious injury for Howe. I think he even got into the details of hamstring off the bone, very serious. I don't know if he's going to be back, kind of thing. I think he may have gone into that detail. He definitely got on there and gave the rundown of what was going on with the team. Coach Frere, he listens sometimes, so he can confirm or deny that. But I'm pretty sure that happened. I'm running with it. Why not?
Wow.
Yeah, so that was wild, and that's when we're like, oh, he's done.
I can't believe you went on the Wisconsin. Did you ever post on the Wisconsin message boards?
No, I
never.
I never posted. That was probably the only message board I didn't post on, because I can never keep. Okay. I can't keep my mouth shut in real life, and I can't keep my mouth shut on the internet. I think probably what happened was this was a message board to message board. I think someone took it and posted it on the board I was on. It was like, hey, check this out. Jared Fraier's like, Hal's done. I'm like, what? And then that's just kind of how word would get circulated back in those days.
Yeah, it's true.
Pre-wrestling Twitter and everything in between. All right, 57. I don't know what else there's to say.
Justin Gaethje got on the podium.
Yeah, we mentioned that he kind of had his breakout here. You think he's going to fight Conor next?
That's what I think so, but we'll see. No one knows what's going to happen right now. They're just trying to get the Ferguson and Khabib matched up somehow and figure out where they're going to do it because they're sure as shit not doing it in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, my gosh, no. Were they talking about having it in Russia?
Yeah, maybe. I bet UAE is the one that happens. That's what I would guess.
They just quarantined our man Ian Dilly. They shouldn't go there. They got Flow Bikes guys quarantined there.
Okay, well, I mean, they'd probably quarantine Ferguson and Khabib in a nice hotel or something and, let them do their training or whatever and then crack them out 2 weeks later and let them fight.
Why did Adam Hall have a bye here in the first round?
I remember they used to not do them uniformly.
Am I just now looking and noticing that there was a bye and everyone? Where are the other byes?
I told you about this. There was 330 competitors, which means some brackets had 29 or 31. Some brackets had 35 or 36.
This is the only one I've seen with a bye.
No, it wasn't like that in this year. Something's going on at 150.
Are you sure?
Look at all the other brackets. They're all the same. They all have 33 guys. They have a pigtail. You can see the championship pigtail.
Well, I wonder which year.
But even if they miss weight, do they come out of the bracket?
I don't know.
No,
at that point they did, I think.
Literally no way to know.
There's no way to know. It's totally unverifiable.
Well, we just need an old coach to tell us what the deal was in 2010.
Literally no coaches listen. All right, hey. I'm just kidding. Okay, 65.
Oh, my goodness. Marable had a Nick Amuchstegui again for the second day in a row. And then I forgot Chris Brown beat John Reeder.
Yes, so this was the year.
Oh, my God.
Young John, I think he had like major concussion issues and stuff.
Oh, really?
He was concussion, injury, something was going on. I refuse to believe that 100% John Reeder would lose to Chris Brown, even though I'm an old
Chris Brown did beat Mark Perry before he beat his girlfriend.
Well, okay, let's talk about that match. That match was crazy. Do you remember this one?
We watched it together one time.
It was crazy.
Guys,
was crazy.
Here, cut to us. Chris Brown and Mark Perry had a match, and Mark Perry tried to choke out Chris Brown multiple times. Like, he was.
Oh, yeah.
The match was not going well at all for Mark Perry. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to straight it. The match got so dirty. Perry got. I'm pretty sure he got DQ'd. I think he got DQ'd from the match.
Yeah, he did. He was losing. Yes.
He was losing. He lost his mind. He tried to fight him. He tried to choke him. It was out of control match. I don't think this was the same weekend, but it might have been the same like time period where Metcalf got spladled. Like, just crazy shenanigans. It may have been a year apart for all I know. But I remember it was grainy YouTube video came up of him just like losing his mind against Chris Brown. Shout out. He's from Virginia.
All right. I found it. I'm going to share it on the Facebook thing.
It's wild. It is wild. I mean, so many things happened during this time where I'm like, if this happened right now, it would be. You think DeSanto is crazy? You got an NCAA champion, a legend in Mark Perry, just like losing his mind against Chris Brown.
Bader's gonna have Mark Perry on tomorrow. Maybe
Chris
he
Brown
could
on
ask
Friday.
him.
Oh, no. Don't ask him. He'll hang up.
He won't hang up. Mark Perry is a gangster. He'll just say whatever is on his mind. He'll be like, yeah.
Piss me off.
He's like, I was mad. I was losing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to choke him out. I'm sure he'll have some very interesting matter-of-fact way of describing it. Maybe we can get Chris Brown on, get his side of the story. Chris Brown was good. So hard to score on.
Yeah.
And he actually matched up pretty well against Perry because Perry was like so good in scrambles, amazing on top, but like generating neutral offense was like not his strong suit. And sure enough. But yeah, Marable was the 3 seed. Let's open that wound. 3 seed Nick Marable falls in round 1 to Nick Amuchstegui.
How do you have to get Amuchstegui two years in a row? This is bullcrap.
How you get the 3 seed and you have a whole year and you still can't beat this guy? That's my question.
Amuchstegui's good. He makes the NCAA finals like the next year or something.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you're the 3 seed, you should be able to beat this guy.
Oh, he was good. And Muchtegui was good. And Marable had a very specific style that Muchtegui was very defensive as well, so it did not lend itself very well to Marable scoring points on him.
No, you're right about that. Marable was tough to get to.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, the rivalry that we didn't know we needed, Ryan Morningstar versus Donnie Jones every year at NCAA. So Marable and Morningstar both had their same opponent, but Morningstar was able to avenge that.
Oh my gosh. Chris
What?
Chris Brown just put Mark Perry on his back. Oh, I'm watching it. Oh,
He's
my
watching the
goodness.
match.
Dang it, lock in. We got to talk about Ryan Morningstar versus Alex Mead. Do you remember why this is interesting?
Oh, I remember Alex Mead was from Delaware, some high school in Delaware, and he was really good, but never did much in college. But I don't remember why.
Well, I think just like personal stuff, just lifestyle.
Okay.
But he was amazing. Alex Mead was
Yes.
so good. I'm pretty sure
He beat him in the duel.
he beat Morningstar in the duel when Morningstar
you're
was
right,
healthy.
yeah.
Morningstar, like at Big Tens or something, like tore his knee. Like he had major knee injury. I don't know if he tore his ACL. I've talked to Ryan about this, but I can't recall the exact. He had a very serious knee injury. He was in a giant mega brace, right? And
Yes.
he beat Alex Mead in this match because you're like, oh. You're seeing this, you're like, oh, but he's definitely losing this one. He couldn't beat him when he was healthy. And he freaking gutted it out and beat him somehow. He lost 2-1 to Jared King after that, who goes on to lose to Valamont, who makes a finals. Great run for Dan Valamont out of the 6th seed.
Yeah. Well, what about, we haven't talked about Tyler Caldwell as a true freshman wrestling at Oklahoma, not Oklahoma State.
Yes.
That
yes.
was an insane run. So he beats number 12 Paul Young, number 5 Colt Sponseller, and then beats Chris Brown 2-1.
Yes.
That was wild.
He was that was a surprise. He was unseeded. I don't think he had been bad that year, but man, he put it together. He's so hard to score on. I mean, his defense was amazing. He was good on top. He had the physicality for a freshman, and man, he made it happen. He was really, really tough. And who would have thought, Andrew Howe, Tyler Caldwell, both would end up at Oklahoma, though at different points. Yeah,
Oh.
Andrew Howe went to Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, I was thinking I was thinking you were saying at the same time, but they kind of flip-flopped.
Yeah, so Caldwell, when Sammy Henson left Oklahoma, Caldwell originally committed to Nebraska. People forget
Yep.
that. And then I think it's because they thought Henson was going there, and then he didn't. So then he went to Oklahoma State. Where
Beta recently talked with him about that. There's a really good video up on the site, and he almost went to Iowa.
That's right.
He has this crazy story about the Brands brothers, and then John Smith coming to his house like back to back, and he's like, I was going to Iowa. He's like, and then John came and visited.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine that? One day Tom Brands and Terry Brands are in your house, and then the next day John Smith's going. I wonder if you just change up the order, if it's different, right? Just like the recency thing, it's wild.
Yeah.
Holy cow. But yeah, he's still at Oklahoma State now.
Yeah, he's like their recruiting coordinator.
Nice. All right, anything else for this one?
No, I mean it's pretty crazy. Like looking back at, how good a lot of these guys did. And Reader, specifically Reader and Marable losing the first round matches. The young Tyler Caldwell, who no one expected to make the semis. There's some good stories in this. But the other one here, Brandon Hatchett down on the bottom. He was kind of a nobody at this time, and he eventually makes the NCAA finals against. And Valmont made it this year.
So Reader's battles back to make the round of 12, but then fell to Andy Rendos of Bucknell. He was tough. Hey, remember Justin Kerber, Ryan Morningstar, round of 12. Do you know who Justin Kerber is?
That's Lubu's cousin or nephew.
Yeah. So Randy Lewis's nephew went to Cornell. His name's Justin Kerber. He had a mullet. He had a crazy mullet. He was pretty good, obviously. Made the round of 12. Okay. Now, 174 pounds. This was wild because Mac Lunas, the whole thing was Mac Lunas has not been taken down all year. No one has taken down Mac Lunas. This guy, went 0-2 as the number 1 seed the year before, and then no one took him down all year long. It was this huge thing, and he was kind of a big favorite going into the NCAA final against Jay Borschel, who we'll get to his miracle match in the semis.
That was awesome.
Maybe one of the best NCAA matches Yeah, I've seen. It was epic, epic, epic. I remember watching that with a couple coaching friends who hate Iowa, and they were so their devastation, the devastation on their faces remains burned in my mind. So Lunas he just takes care of business and makes the final there.
What? Wait, what do you mean? He barely won over the greatest villain in mixed martial arts right now, Colby Covington.
I don't want to
4-2.
I don't want to give Colby any shine.
Okay, let's ignore him.
I really don't like him. Jerian Beats to this day maybe is the most random All-American I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he was not good that year.
At any point, and if you go back, if you go back and look at his record, I was like, I cannot make sense of Jerian Beats anywhere near this podium, but I swear it happened. It happened before our eyes. There's nothing else you can do about it. But give me your recollection of the Heinrich Borschel match, Ben.
Oh, well, I hope my recollection is good. Heinrich got up something like 8-2, I believe. He got maybe 3 takedowns. I don't think he got a turn, but I think it was like 3 takedowns. And
he did.
Oh, he did get a turn.
He hits this crazy. It was like it was either a claw, and he would like do a little trip behind and like pull him to the side. It was a really unique turn. Here, I know it's on YouTube. I watch it, once a year just to get pumped up. It's a really slick turn. You don't really see it. And he almost got Borschel with it once, and then he eventually got it, if I'm remembering correctly. But he just fell off a cliff. And
yeah, in third period. Well, the one thing that I remember was so important in the third period that Borschel did was he got the stall call before cutting him the last time, because it was a situation where if he would have cut him right away, it would have tied it up, but he got a stall call also. Something like that, right?
Yes. Yeah, he got the stall, and he had a huge ride out too, a riding time point. That was big. I found the match on Facebook. I'll tweet it at some point, maybe right now. You got to watch this match though. Heinrich Borschel is a classic NCAA match. You will enjoy it. Okay. So that happens, and then Borschel takes out Lunas
pretty easily.
Lunas wasn't close to scoring, and Borschel was just so smooth on his single leg. He was so methodical with his finish. He made finishing look on Mac Lunas look really easy, which blew minds nationwide. A lot of people just didn't see that coming, especially after how you could just say he struggled in the semis. Yeah, so he's got a half, and I'll just post it, and Ben, you can watch it and tell me how you.
Are you posting it on Twitter, or are you posting it on? Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Turner. Isn't modern communication so fascinating? You didn't timestamp it. Jeez Louise.
It happens. I'll tell you when the turn happens.
Tell me what happened.
It happens in the first, go to 40 seconds or so.
Okay.
It's great.
He's got a takedown. Okay. You know the other. Oh yeah. Nice. It looks like a Max Askren type move.
Yeah, actually, it really does. Okay,
I do actually do that exact thing, but with my hands locked, not a half and heel.
That's locked hands. You can't do that in folk style. That's a point.
What? It's around the neck and arm.
No, you
CP.
can't. No, you can't lock hands, dude. That's a point.
Take
it up with the refs, bro. Mike Benefiel, he was good. He had a lot of fireman's carries, but I don't think he ever got on the podium for Oklahoma.
I don't
State.
think so. I was going to say Robert Hamlin.
Jerian Beats made the podium and not freaking Mike Benefiel, who was everything forever. Crazy.
What about Robert Hamlin? This is when he's a freshman losing to Ben Bennett first round. That's pretty crazy.
This was before. You know what's interesting as I've been going through this, the unseeded wrestlers that end up making NCAA finals, 4 of them have been from Lehigh. You've got Robert Hamlin, Brandon Hatchett, Nate Brown, Darian Cruz. All unseeded.
Yeah.
At different points.
Pat Santor's doing a great job giving some improvement there, huh?
Yeah. And how. That is an amazing thing where you think about it, it's just like they just have the progression. They stay on the path, and they're good kids, and they work hard, and then eventually you get really, really good. Turns out, I never in a million years thought Darian Cruz would be an NCAA champion. I never. And I always thought he was good and talented, but man, he was that year. I mean, he straight up beat Gilman. That was unbelievable. Any other 74 thoughts other than Darian Cruz?
Oh. Man, it's 8-2 here, and it's still in the first period. It's 8-2.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah,
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. All right, 184. All right, well,
Oh,
I'll
there
let
we
you
go.
take this one away.
Yeah, it's a good bracket. So what?
The
What are you
sixth,
laughing at?
the 6th seed. Let's
Yeah,
talk
Max
about
at the 6th seed. I knew Kilgore was a good matchup for him, so I knew he was going to win that one. The Joe LeBlanc one was crazy because he hit the Max Askren cradle defense, and he had Joe LeBlanc pinned, but the ref didn't know what he was looking at, so he actually gave back points to Joe LeBlanc, and it was 5-0, and then Max came back and rode him out in the third period and took him out in overtime. It was totally awesome.
It was a wild one. It was a wild. Yeah, so Max did this thing where he basically like let himself get cradled and kind of like sit through, kind of peek out the other side. And
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it that well, but it was epic. So yeah, he makes the finals there out of the 6th seed against where LeBlanc was a surprise All-American the year before for Wyoming. And then this was the weight where you're like, anyone can win this weight. There's so many good guys this weight. You had Kirk Smith was the 1 seed this year. Michael Cannon was super, super good. Like I thought Cannon was going to win this weight. He was really good on top. I was also drinking like all the Mark Cody American Kool-Aid. I just thought he was like the best.
Much Kool-Aid.
I was like, this guy's amazing. Mike Cannon's so awesome. I love Mike Cannon. Kilgore, I actually never really thought would. How about Kilgore Bozak was a round 1 match?
Well, that's what I mean. In this bracket, you talk about people who would go on to become NCAA finalists. Christian, you talk about count how many there are in this bracket.
Would be NCAA finalists.
It would be NCAA finals at some point in their career.
Well,
from this bracket,
Kurt Smith, Clayton Foster, Dustin Kilgore was NCAA champion. Steve Bozak was an NCAA champion.
Yep.
Max Askren won, and Mike Miller made a final.
Yep.
And
you got to go to the other pigtail.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Mike Pasillo.
Yep.
So 6 NCAA champs are finalists in one bracket. Yeah. And this was one like in real time we thought it was amazing, and it looks more amazing now because of the emergence of some guys like Steve Bozak. We never knew Steve Bozak was going to be an NCAA champion 2 years later. Like no one thought that was happening. So yeah, a really, really great weight class there, and won by Max, who he ran the half, like he rolled across his back with the half Nelson, and that put that match basically out of reach against Kirk Smith of Boise.
Yeah, he actually did right off the bat. He did the one that it was Adam Satiev did it to Yoel Romero in the world finals, maybe in 2001 or something, where it was from a claw. Actually, it was a claw, and the other guy's in the quad pod, and you sit behind the legs and pop them over to their back.
Oh, okay, is that how he got one of the takedowns?
No, that's the back points. Back points.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Joe LeBlanc is so pinned. I'm watching this right now. It's absurd.
Tweet how pinned Joe LeBlanc is right now.
Well, what do I do to do the timestamp thing again, Christian?
All right, right-click it.
Okay, right-click it.
Well, actually, pause it at the time you want.
Okay, I'm there.
All right, now right-click.
Well, I'm on a Mac. I can't right-click on a Mac.
Well, double-click at the same time. Oh my gosh, Ben.
Oh my gosh, Christian, you have to teach me how to do this another time.
Oh my gosh, how do you not know how to do this?
Oh my God. I don't know how to timestamp something.
Yeah, you do.
How do you right-click on a Mac?
Just take both your fingers. Look at my fingers like this, and you just push them down on the pad at the same time.
Hey! We did it.
And then it says copy URL at current time.
Okay, I'm gonna put. You guys need to watch it. I'm gonna put it in the whatchamacallit, the Facebook feed.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So talk about Max's decision.
It's great.
Talk about Max's decision to go 184. He was on 197 all through his career.
Yeah, I mean he was always pretty small, but this after the previous year, he had a bad back injury. He didn't wrestle for like 4 months. And so he was thinking about not wrestling at all.
Man, you know what,
yeah.
Ben? You might fight me,
What?
and your brother may come downstairs and fight me. But I don't know who. You have to give Joe LeBlanc back points here. He freaking locks up the cradle and puts him on his back, and then.
Listen, Christian, give him some damn back points, but he's still pinned.
Yeah,
Okay, that may be true.
he's absolutely pinned for like a long time.
He's so pinned.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
so pinned.
All right,
He can have all the back points he wants, but he's decked.
Okay, got it. All right, if that's your point,
Yeah.
then I won't disagree with that. He looks pretty freaking pinned.
for like 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, it looks
Yes.
it looks like Giant DeJulius, like when he stacked dudes up with his like elbow
Yeah.
hook thing. All right, we got to keep going.
Okay,
Because
we have
we have-
2 weights left.
We have 5 minutes to do it too. We're not even gonna get to questions.
Oh
this
my
time,
goodness.
Because we have hard stops and stuff now. Because freaking Mark Bader's running us ragged. Okay,
Oh, this 197 is a good bracket right here.
stacked. Craig Brester.
Oh, that's good.
Craig Brester was so good. Craig Brester was unbelievable. Craig Brester. There are not many 197s he wouldn't have won if Jake Varner wasn't in his way since that time on. He was so good.
I don't want to give people a preview, Christian, but Craig Brester, Bo Nickel, it's going down soon.
What?
Who in our bracket?
the bracket.
Our brackets.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Brester
gonna
versus
pick?
Nickel. Hey,
Oh, my-
I'm teasing that one. How about Alan Gelagayev, one of my favorite wrestlers ever to watch, was unseated here for Oklahoma State. He ended up placing.
Oh
but I
my
remember
goodness.
he got interviewed by Flo afterwards, and I remember him saying like, he's like, I did terrible. He's like, you had to wrestle back for 7th. He's like, I didn't even know you guys did that. I didn't know you guys wrestled back for 7th place in tournaments. He's like, I didn't even know that you guys do things like that in this country. Because Alan Gelagayev was Russian. I'm pretty sure he's from Dagestan. Maybe he's Ossetia.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think Dagestan though. It's Andy Rovat.
I just saw him in New York like a couple months ago.
I want that guy in the sport. He was so funny and he was so amazing to watch. He had just the sickest style, upper body stuff. If you've been listening to FRL for long, you know Alan Gelagayev is one of my favorites. He's a 97-pounder here, which the next year looked absolutely preposterous, or 2 years later. He majored Tony Nelson the next year at Oklahoma State.
So crazy.
It was crazy. So in this one, you had Varner Brester 5,000 because this was a Big 12 rivalry at the time, Iowa State versus Nebraska. So they wrestled all the time. And Brester only beat him once, maybe twice. Varner pretty much dominated it. But this had NCAA champion Cam Simaz in it out of the 4 seed. He was a bad matchup against Varner, as most people tended to be.
As most people were.
As most people were, because he was an Olympic champion and 2-time NCAA champion, 4-time finalist for crying out loud. This was the KJ year.
Yes. Okay, go tell me this for a second, Christian, though. See these. Jake Varner, Jaden Cox, Bo Nickel. How do you see those three?
Oh my gosh.
Bracket?
Varner, I think, is the one.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
Varner, Jaden, oh my gosh. Varner, Jaden, Bo, Brester is how you seed those four.
Oh, well, I got Kyvan Gadsden and Quentin Wright in there also.
Yeah. Okay. It's
Oh
gonna
my
get
God. We're having some fun.
Yeah. We'll have to get into that one. That will be fun to seed. Other things in here, Matt Wilps, he was really good for Pitt.
Yes.
Made a final. Did he? I can't remember now.
Tyler Wilps made
Tyler made it.
Yeah,
So many jacked Wilps. All the Wilps were so insanely jacked. But yeah, so Varner wins this one. We have a minute 45. We got to do heavyweight. What the heck?
Uh-oh.
They're flying us through. Mark Ellis's nemesis, David Zabriskie, won it. Mark Ellis could not beat David Zabriskie or Ben Askren in a practice match to save his soul.
No, that's not true. I stopped wrestling with him when he got to like 260. I'm like, bro, you're just too big. I'm not going anymore.
Well, that was wise. That's
do
just being smart. Dudziak made the semis but could not beat Zabriskie. Zabriskie was on. Zabriskie and Rochalt had a good rivalry too. They were Big 12 rivals, so they would hit in duels in Big 12s. I think that was more of a back and forth rivalry.
But what was so crazy about that rivalry is all three of those guys were the same grade, so they wrestled all 4 years straight.
Ellis, Zabriskie, and Rochalt, same grade, Oh yeah, same grade.
All Big 12, and there's only
All
5
Big
teams,
12.
so they wrestled this over and over and over again.
Oh my gosh. Big shout
Yeah.
DJ Russo at it again. 10 seed. He was a beast. Zach Ray makes the semis here. Our man Ben Burhow. I feel like we talked about this bracket, or maybe like all these guys were in the bracket last year.
Yeah. Hey,
Wait, what's
Becky,
this
it
new
might be
countdown?
who's Brandon Williamson? West
I think-
Virginia.
Yeah, I believe he was a PA kid. No, he was like a 3-time qualifier. He had a really nice tournament this year.
I love Scott Steele of Navy. I thought he was so good.
Oh yeah,
He's,
he's awesome. Where's
He's
he
a
at?
cool guy. He's the 12.
He's still like involved with
Yes.
wrestling.
Good. He's
He
a beast.
remember he's the Marine that comes out and hands out the awards at Fargo.
Yep.
That's awesome. There's not a better choice. He had an amazing mustache. Hey, what happened? Hey, Tyler or Caleb? It says 5 minutes now on the countdown clock. We got a 5-minute extension.
Oh,
How about that?
saved.
Thank you, Tyler and Caleb. That
Oh, my
was
goodness.
that was nice of you. West Virginia corner. Anything going on here for your boys? I feel like were we supposed to talk about Brandon Rader in one of these? Or no, he's later. He's 2011.
No,
He's already done by this point.
earlier. Yeah, he's done.
I thought he had a comeback at some point.
He got like a 6th year maybe in 2011.
He
but
did.
He went 0-2. He
Yes.
was, his shoulder and knee. It was really sad to see. He had completely replaced shoulder and knee and was just a shell of what he was.
He had so many. He was a huge message board guy for our fantasy league because there was this one guy that would always take a flyer on him for like 3-4 straight years after Brandon Rader was like, he All-Americaned his first 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was really good. Parkersburg, right? And then terrible knee injuries, just knee injury after knee injury, shoulder injury, just a shell.
I really think he would have won his junior year. He was wrestling Mendez when he tore his ACL and beating him at the time. And the year before,
Mendez kind of hurt people.
He beat Jaggers pretty bad at NCAA's the year before. Man, it was wide open for him that year.
Was that the year Jaggers won his
His
first title?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the next. How did we not talk about the Jaggers Mendez breaking his ankle thing?
I think that was 08, wasn't it?
Oh, that was 2008, and then 2009 he won again. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Rader was really good. But anyway, this guy would draft him every year with his last pick and just
Smart pick.
hold out hope that he would be healthy, and it never worked out. But I always applauded that guy for. It actually was funny because no one would even pick him because like out of respect at that point, because it was like a tradition to draft this horribly injured wrestler on the off chance that he would have like regenerating knees or something. A lot of message board call outs today. Okay. Anything else on the heavyweight front as we look at this one? We went from Darian Cruz to 174 and from heavyweight to Brandon Rader somehow. But that's just,
I love it.
You have to
More
love it.
Brandon Rader talk.
Yeah, we will. Now I feel like we have to go this extra 2.5 minutes. Can we just stop? Can we just play the outro music?
I think we can just stop. Well, we won't be back till next Tuesday.
Oh my
What are we
gosh.
gonna do? What am I gonna do with my day?
We have a lot less to do than we did. Normally I'd be like, oh yeah, I don't even want to talk about what we would be doing right now within like an hour. It would be starting, guys. I'm sorry I had
Oh
to
my
say
goodness.
that. I'm trying. I
did.
wanted to end this on an upswing, and then I just had that dawning that NCAAs would be starting right freaking now. We thank you guys so much for listening. We're not done though. We may be getting up out of these chairs, but the programming doesn't stop. The show doesn't stop. Mark Bader's coming on. We have between now and Mark Bader, we've got the story of Joe Russell. He's a coach at USA Wrestling now. Amazing story. This guy had a horrible accident, injury. This guy was on the path to be an all-time legendary college wrestler and had a crazy story of overcoming adversity. Please watch that. That'll take up a couple minutes of your time. Then our man Mark Bader, who just walked in, is going to have a host of guests that
Bono, Colin Moore, Andy Peterson, and then Friday, Chael Sonnen,
No, I don't know who that is.
Mark Perry, plenty more. So
Rich
Bender.
Holy cow.
What's up, Mark Bader?
Yes, he can't hear you, but I will relay the message. Ben Askren, he said, "What's up, Bader?"
Ask him if he drove his short bus to the.
He wants to know if
studio.
you drove the short bus. Okay, to the studio. All right. Ben's laughing. We're having fun. We ended on the upswing. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Y'all are the best.
See ya.
The police report at the scene of the accident says that they found a quarter cup of brain matter at the scene of the accident.
Joe Russell's possibly the greatest high school wrestler in the history of our nation.
They put me in an ambulance. They were going to get a life flight to get me to the hospital, but there was no reason to do that because I wasn't going to make it.
He's setting records. He's making a name in the sport.